Hey, Ken here from OK Portugal, and today we're getting stuck into the vegetable patch. As you can see, it's all a big mess at the moment. I've got these amazing raised planter beds that I'm going to be setting up. We have a couple of different shapes and sizes, and I think they're going to look pretty good. I've got a really busy week ahead. I've got 2 property videos to do this week. It's going to take me about 4 days. So I've only really got today and tomorrow to try and get a start on this veggie patch. Our veggie patch is quite a big area. It's towards the rear of our house. It's been nicely fenced off. We've got sheep fencing, so this kind of stops all the big stuff from getting through. And then at the bottom we've got this chicken wire to stop our chickens. There's also like wild rabbits and hares and things like that. So far it works pretty good. Now the problem we had when we originally set this up was it's just a massive area. Obviously this wasn't really used as a veggie patch before. You know, we had to try and bring the soil back by putting lots of compost and stuff like that in. It worked reasonably well. But we just found that it was just an enormous space to like water throughout the summer, and we had loads and loads of veggies. Loads and loads of veggies sounds good, but when they all get ready at exactly the same time, it's just a big waste. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to trying raised beds this year. One of the challenges we've got is, obviously, I mean, look at all this. We've got like stones and rubble and all sorts of stuff there. It's also incredibly lumpy. So we've got all of these holes that like the dogs have dug into the ground. It's all uneven, it's all lumpy. I mean, let's see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up well, but you know, we've just got all these divots and holes and things like that. So I think I want to bring the rotavator in here. I'm going to rotivate it all into a nice fine sort of substrate, and then we're going to rake it all nice and smooth. I want to make sure that when we install these raised beds that they're completely flat on the ground and they're completely level. I'm not going to be able to do that when the ground looks like this. And another bonus to rotavating it is that I'm going to be able to put some grass seed down, and then this whole area in the summertime is actually going to be a nice green lawn. It's small enough that I'll be able to water it and keep it nice and green, and we'll have somewhere, you know, to go in the summertime when everything else is dry and dusty. So hopefully I don't have a repeat of last week when I couldn't get this thing to fire up. Well, there we go. That started up pretty easy. So I'm just going to let that warm up a little bit, and then we're going to swap out these tires for these teeth. And we were sent another 3 of these big beds, so these have to be set up as well. Now, as you can imagine, they're going to take tons and tons of soil. So what we've done is we've bought this substrate that we're going to plant into on the very top, and we're going to fill up the rest of this huge space with wood and compost and things like that. Okay, let's do this. Awesome, so now we got these 2 teeth that are going to help break up the soil and help mix all of this stuff in. But first we just need to move a couple of things out the way, and then we'll be ready to begin. Let's get these out the way, and then we're nearly ready to go. I can't believe it, it's starting really easy today, but as you guys said in the comments in my last video when I couldn't get this thing going, I just had old fuel in the fuel tank and yeah, it just wasn't working. see the chickens are having a literal field day. They love it when you break up the soil like this and they get access to all the earthworms and grubs and things like that. Right, so I've done a ring around the outside and now I just have to do the middle sections. There we go. Good job, Rotavator. I really do enjoy using this thing. It's like a hell of a workout and it's a proper farmy tool. It's good fun to use. Obviously one day I'd love to have a tractor. It'll make this a lot easier. But for now, this thing's pretty cool. So the chickens have been doing they've been doing a bad job actually. They've been eating all the earthworms. But hopefully we'll have enough earthworms to go around for everyone. But yeah, as you can see, everything's been rotavated. So I've chopped up all of the weeds and everything, and everything's been mixed into the ground. And I know some people are going to say, oh, now you've mixed up all the weeds in the ground, you're going to get more weeds. It doesn't really matter to me because this whole area is going to get planted with grass and it's going to be mowed. So you won't even really notice the weeds. So I haven't rotavated this section right next to the house. The reason for that is because we've got a septic tank around about here. It's also quite shallow and we have pipe work going into it. And then we also have some water pipes that run along the side of the house here, all the way from our main well at the bottom. And I'm not sure exactly where they are. I think they're around about here. The last thing I want to be doing is putting some blades in there and chopping them up. So I think we'll just tidy up this section by hand, you know, rake all the stones out and stuff like that before we plant. Now, the idea, I think I've got this wrong really. The idea was to flatten this out. Obviously, I've made it incredibly lumpy. So we're going to rake it. We're going to rake it hopefully all nice and smooth. And then the whole point of that was so that when we put these things down, we've got a nice flat surface. But now I'm not so convinced that that's going to work. So we want to put those beds on this side. We've got 4 of them. And the idea is that we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4. It also gives us space if we want to add more. So this is all really soft now. Obviously we're going to try and flatten it out. But what's going to happen when we take one of these big beds, we stick it on here, it's probably going to weigh at least a ton. I mean, you know, if you look at a ton bag of sand or whatever, it's about that size, if not bigger. Imagine all of that weight on this nice soft rotavated ground. It's probably going to dig in and get all uneven. So I may have just caused a big problem for myself here, I'm not entirely sure. All I have to do now is clean up these blades. As you can see, they're just absolutely covered in weeds and stuff. Fortunately, there's no like stinging nettles or anything in there, so I can just do it with my hands. But yeah, these little tractors are awesome, man. You can attach even like a trailer on the back here. So it can pull like a trailer, like a cart. You can sit on top of it and you can drive it like a car. Well, kind of. It's got 2 speeds. So yeah, pretty cool. And you can also attach like a little plow, like a little furrow type plow thing on the back. Alright, so while I wait for this guy to dry off in the background before I put him in the shed, I am about to go and edit a little mini vlog that I made earlier. Now this is going to go up on our Patreon page. If you don't know what that is, it's patreon.com/okportugal. Go and check it out. We put up early releases there. We put up, you know, behind the scenes footage. You get to see the weekly vlogs a day before anyone else, at least a day. And there's a whole bunch of other bonus stuff there. So check it out if you want to, and if you don't want to, it doesn't matter. You've still got the videos here on YouTube. Good morning, Eddie. What we're going to do today, Eddie, is it day 2, and we're going to sort out the veggie patch. It's a beautiful day outside. A bit windy today, a little bit chilly, but still absolutely stunning. Look at these blue skies and look at the sun. So today, I've got my work cut out for me. I need to rake this all flat. It's looking a bit like the surface of Mars at the moment, and it's still full of like sticks and weeds and things like that. So yeah, I've got to sort this out. So I don't have a roller or anything like that to get it properly flat, but I think it's working pretty well. You can probably see the difference with all the shadows here, and then it's less shadows there. But this is only the beginning. I'm sure I'll get it better than that. Just going to take a quick break. The delivery guy's just dropped off a parcel at our front gate. So yeah, for those of you that have actually just tuned in, if this is the first time you've ever watched one of our videos, we're in Portugal. So we're in central Portugal in the Castelo Branco district, and this is a farm. We got 3.5 hectares, which is about 8.5 acres of land. This used to be a sheep farm and an olive farm. We don't keep sheep anymore, so we have olives, and that's pretty much the only crop that gets done on this farm, apart from animal feed. So we grow grass on the fields and stuff so that we can make hay, and that all goes to our neighbour Joaquin. Our neighbour Joaquin's farm is just over the road, and he has a whole bunch of sheep. So his sheep are super hungry. They need as much grass as possible. Joaquin helps us out with different jobs on the farm, and in return he gets all of our pasture land for his sheep to eat. I hope this parcel is what I think it is. Basically, I bought a GoPro Hero 10 on launch. It was about 1.5 years ago, and yeah, basically the thing has not worked right since day one. I thought it was just a firmware issue and that it would sort itself out. I kept it for about 1.5 years. It cost me like 500 euros, so you know, I had this dead weight hanging around that cost me 500 euros. Anyway, I've just sent it back, and I think I'm getting a new one, so I hope this is the box. Yeah, we don't actually have like a postal address. We've just basically live along the street. There's no number or anything like that. So we have a PO box, and generally they don't drop off parcels for us. But this time we got lucky. So let's see. Okay, yeah, this is coming from the Netherlands. So I think this is from GoPro. Yeah, GoPros are really cool to use for vlogging and stuff. Unfortunately, they make it quite difficult to plug like external microphones and stuff like that in. So it is a little bit of a chore, but the cameras themselves are really awesome. I absolutely love them, and I don't think I'm going to stop using them anytime soon. All right, let's see. There we go. Cool, so that's pretty cool. I was expecting them to get me like a refurbished one, but this one, as you can see, looks brand new. All right, I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I'm using this new GoPro, and hopefully it doesn't give me any problems. Normally I wouldn't take a brand new camera and start using it for any film shoot, but this is just a vlog, so if this camera does have issues, I apologize in advance. All right, let's get back on it. We haven't even really made a dent yet. So while that's all happening, I wanted to show you something pretty cool. This is a camera that I was given from a company called Reolink, and I'm going to put a link to where you can buy this in the description. But as you can see, it's a pan tilt zoom camera. It's got 2 lenses. One of them is a zoom lens, the other one's the wide angle lens. And as you can see, it follows you around and basically tracks anything all the way from the front gate all the way down this side of the farm. It can also see all the way to the windows here, which is pretty amazing. So I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm also going to put it as the top pinned comment, and so you can basically find out where you can buy these. I'm super impressed by them. They did give me the camera for free, but you know, the actual review that I'm making on the camera isn't, you know, it hasn't been influenced in any way, apart from the fact that it's a really amazing camera. Honestly, I'm super impressed. It shoots in 4K, 25 frames a second. The zoom is really good, the tracking is really good. It's got AI built into it, so the artificial intelligence actually tracks objects. So it'll track pets, it'll track humans, vehicles, it'll send you an alert, and it'll tell you if it's an animal it's seen, or a human, or a car, or something like that. It works really well, and this particular one, it records 24/7, so It's basically permanently on, and you can look back through the footage, you can download the footage, and use it in your videos, you know, which is something that I'm going to be doing in this episode, so you guys can see how it works. But yeah, really amazing technology. They're actually sending me another one, which I'll hopefully have next week. I'm going to be putting that on the front, but it's a slightly different one, but I'll tell you all about that later. Little doggies, pretty soon this area is going to be off limits to you guys. No more coming in here and digging holes. There's going to be beautiful green fresh lawn as well that you're going to be really desperate to poo on, especially in the summertime. And you're not going to be able to do that, I'm afraid. And you also won't have a little grubby nose like that anymore from all this mud. Yeah. Right, as you can see, I'm desperately trying to put off doing this job. Hello, Spleens.
Hello.
How's it going?
All right, I'm busy working.
Yeah.
But not on the garden.
Yeah.
But I just need to go for essential supplies to the supermarket. So, and the dogs have decided to get really excited because they think they're coming with me, but they're not.
Okay, I'm just going to move my stuff. I was doing a time lapse over here, and so the dogs don't run into the tripod, I've put all sorts of barricades. See there, the dog almost ran in that direction. Gina, wait. Don't go. I'm enjoying being distracted from having to work. Find more distraction for me, please.
Yeah, it is what it is. Get raking.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Have fun.
I will.
Bye.
Ciao. Okay, so we're pretty much done. Obviously there's some final touches to do. I was using this heavy duty sort of rake. Obviously I have to move a lot of soil around to flatten it out. I have this lighter rake which I'm going to use just to go over the top with at a later stage and just get rid of all the weeds before we plant the grass. So I'm going to take a break for lunch, get these cameras in and see what kind of footage I've got. It's been a long day.
Right. It's going to get longer.
It is about to get longer, you're right, yes. So after lunch I pretty much put together all the footage on the computer just so that I know what I have, made a couple of montages. It also was a good excuse to not go back out there and do any more raking. And now we're on our way to Portuguese lessons. So once a week we go to Portuguese lessons with a teacher. Yeah, Gina's doing some online lessons as well.
Yeah, I have some extra ones because I'm dyslexic, so I'm finding it all a bit difficult. So I'm doing extra to see if I can make up for my shortcomings.
Yeah, it's a very difficult language. It's super complicated when it comes to masculine, feminine, all of the different iterations of different verbs and, you know, conjunctions and things like that. So yeah, both of us are finding it really confusing.
Mine's the pronunciation. I find the pronunciation so difficult.
Yeah.
I can kind of read Portuguese, but just can't say it.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We just have to keep trying. What is that? Is that someone's... I thought that was someone's bum. I thought someone's bum was sticking out.
Bread man.
Yeah. We've just come back from our Portuguese lesson and my brain feels, feels all tingly and feels incredibly stupid as well. But we are learning and we are getting there. Ah.
Oh, 6 hours a week and I'm still learning.
I know. It's crazy. Tough language.
Anyway, keep going.
I just want to say a special shout out to Mark Mapson. He's one of our biggest fans. He's also a Patreon supporter of ours, and we've just found out that Mark is battling cancer. And so we just want to send lots of love
And strength.
and lots of strength. And you can do this, Mark. All the best to you, dude. We are just about to arrive in a city called Funda, which is in central Portugal. We've been invited here today to film an apartment. It's a luxury condo apartment. I don't really know much about it, but that's a video that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days. In fact, by the time you watch this, that video might already be out. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, that basically means that we don't have any more time to do the veggie patch. I got this property video this week. I got another one actually on Saturday. And we're about to get super busy. So
I keep changing my mind about what's going in the veggie patch. So
exactly, yeah. Well, we keep researching it and we're realizing that actually if we do this, then we need to wait for this. And so we're still kind of figuring it out. But tune in next week. We are going to be getting our hands all muddy and involved and we'll see you then for another episode. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Let us know. All the best.
Bye.
Ciao.